To make this dome ring, you will need nylon thread. 60 centimeters of this should be more than enough. You will also need 15 beads or semi-precious stones. These are Swarovski pearls. Each of these are 6 millimeters, though the size doesn't matter, as the larger the bead, the larger the ring will be. You'll also need seed beads. These are size 11. And you will need beading needles. But we won't be needing the beading needles until we work the band of the ring. For this video, I'll be showing you how to make the top of the ring. And then in part 2, which will follow, I will show you how to make the band of the ring. To begin with, take some nylon thread and onto the nylon thread 5 of your beads. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. Find the other end of your cord or your thread and pick up the last bead that was threaded on and pass the other end of the cord through this bead. So then both ends of the cord will be going through this last bead. Okay. Hold the two ends of the thread together and pull. So now you have your 5 beads to begin with, all at the center of the thread. So place your work so that you have a thread coming out of the left and the right. Take the thread on the left hand side and thread on 4 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on to this 4th bead, and as you did before, take the end of the thread on the right hand side and feed this through the bead so that you have a thread going through both ends of the bead, and then pull. Okay. So it's always a great idea to make sure that you're working from the same side so that they're not twisting around, and that gives you a good idea of what to do with each side of the threads. So now take the thread on the right hand side and feed this through this bead here. It can be a bit fiddly. Right. And again pull. Now going back to the thread on the left hand side, you're going to feed 3 beads onto this. 1, 2, 3. And as we did before, hold on to this last bead, take the thread on the right hand side and feed this through the other side of the bead, and then pull. Right, and just as we did before, again take the thread on the right hand side and you'll now feed this through. I'll just tighten that again so it's easier to see. Take the thread on the right hand side and you're going to feed that through this bead here. And pull. Okay, and again, and again take the thread on the left hand side and again you'll place 3 beads. That's 2, and that's 3. And finally, as we did before, hold on to this last bead, take the thread from the right hand side and feed it through the bead and pull. So there, now we have our basic shape. We're just going to structure it. So taking the thread on the right hand side, I'm going to feed it through this bead here. It can get fiddly at this stage. If you want, you can use your beading needles, but it's not necessary to do so. And then pull both ends, and then we're going to feed it continuously through these beads going around till we get around to here. That one, through this one. This is just to fill all the gaps and pull the dome into shape. Okay. And this will be the last one. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing with this side of the thread that was on the left hand side. We're going to feed this through all these beads along the edge until we get to where this thread on the right side is. If it is easier, you can just flip it around and then work in this direction. Don't worry if it's becoming a little distorted at this point. When we get the thread where we want it, then we can pull everything back into shape. Alright, so now both ends of the thread are here. Just pull on both sides. And then you just need to knot them together. And just knot them again, just to secure it. And here we have the dome shape. Now that we've completed the dome, we're simply going to thread the thread through the beads. You can do this in any way you want, but a great thing to do is to thread it round so that you get it either coming out of either end of this bead or either end of this bead, as this is where the band is going to be worked from. So thread the nylon in and out of the bead any way that you want, so that it ends up coming out of both sides of this and both sides, or both sides of here, as demonstrated in this one. We have the cords coming out of either end of this, so that will be easier for us when we come to make the band for the ring. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and that you will join me in part 2 when we begin to work the band. Thank you. Bye.